I thought I had a money problem, but actually I had safety problem. My body never felt safe to receive wealth and abundance. Therefore, I sabotaged it for years and years. And this is what I want to talk to you about today, that how I healed my nervous system to enter my wealthy era, to open the floodgates of abundance. I'm going to share with you three fundamental principles in order to heal your nervous system and shift your identity into wealth and abundance. But before I do that, if you don't know me, I am Sadaf and I guide high achievers towards emotional and financial freedom by tapping into their divine power. And I did not begin here. My past has been I came from a very toxic marriage, which happened when I was married off at 16 by my parents, and I moved country and came to the UK on my own, living with people who I did not know. That marriage turned out to be extremely abusive emotionally, and I was stuck in that marriage for nearly 4 years before running away at 20, and then I got divorced at 21. So you can just imagine being married at such a young age to somebody I didn't even know, to moving countries and living in that abusive environment, how difficult it can be for an adult, let alone a teenager who is just trying to figure herself out, who doesn't even know what marriage is, who doesn't even understand the concepts of marriage and moving countries and trying to learn a whole new culture whilst going through everything, right? So you can just imagine what was going on with my nervous system and the chronic PTSD that I had after that. And by the way, when I ran away, I did not have home. I didn't have anyone financially supporting me. I was homeless for nearly a month. That's where I came from. Then here I am sharing this with you. So I have learned few things over the years as I went through that journey, as I moved into this identity that you see me today. So the first fundamental principle that you need to understand, I call that is success paradox. People who have dysregulated nervous system, they see success as dangerous. Why? Because success seems like to the nervous system is something that requires a burden, that requires a responsibility, that requires a lot of work, and that is extremely dangerous for somebody who has dysregulated nervous system. So this is why, even though after many years when I started working for investment banks, even though I was making money, but I felt extremely unworthy and not enough, and I kept sabotaging the money that I was making. I kept sabotaging myself of thinking that I'm not worthy enough because I was operating from dysregulated place. I was operating from that wealth is not for me, money is not for me, so I would sabotage it. Would you believe that even though I was making money, I was working for investment banks, but I never gave myself permission to go to five-star hotels, five-star restaurants, anything. I never even bought a jewelry for myself during that time when I was making a lot of money, because I operated from this idea that I have to self-sacrifice, I have to give money to other people, to my family, to other people, because I'm not worthy of having it. So even though I had money, I made money, but I did not give myself permission to enjoy money, because I was operating from that wounded identity and wounded place that I'm not worthy and I'm not enough. So people who are dysregulated, they operate from that identity. And this is why success is dangerous. A nervous system that is dysregulated, it will see wealth and success as a threat. And we must heal and release that threat to introduce the idea that allows the nervous system to open up. And this is why I do the work with my clients on healing and releasing. And one of the way you can heal and release, one of the first step is for you to really sit with yourself and ask yourself deeper question, that when I feel that success is dangerous, where do I feel that in my body? And what if success means ease and peace? What would that feel like? How can I create success as ease and peace? How can I see success as ease and peace? What would that look like? And when you can shift the way you see things, the things that you see, they shift, right? So you start asking yourself question that feels safer to your nervous system, because safety is part of your nervous system opening itself up for more abundance. So, how you can create more safety by making success and wealth safe for yourself. So, you can start allowing yourself to use money, the money that you have, by spending on things that makes you feel good, that makes you feel wealthy, that makes you feel abundance. That's one of the way you can make money safe, and that's one of the way can make yourself feel worthy, by allowing yourself to open yourself for that. I remember for the first time when I went to the five-star hotel, I felt alien because I never opened myself up for that. So my nervous system needed to find safety in those environment because I never allowed myself before. So what I did, I started going to five-star hotels for a coffee, for breakfast, for lunch, dinner, really allowing my nervous system to feel safe in that environment. So that's one of the small steps you can take to create safety in wealth. The next fundamental principle that you need to know is breaking the illusion. And this is huge. Most people who are dysregulated, who've gone through challenging past, they are living an illusion. Because I'll tell you, for years, I did a lot of healing work for many years, and I could not break through. I could not experience a breakthrough, experience a shift and change in my own life until the realization occurred that actually I am living an illusion. I am actually creating a problem because the mind that has operated in pain for over the years cannot really comprehend the idea of pleasure, the idea of peace, the idea of joy and happiness. So the reason I call breaking the illusion, because the mind that lives in pain will find pain in everything, will only look for pain. Whether that is business, whether that is work, whether that is relationship, they will keep finding pain because that is their familiar pattern. That's how their nervous system operates, in pain. And nervous system is unfamiliar with pleasure. Therefore, they will keep choosing pain. Until I was awakened to higher truth that actually there's all other part of me that I have blocked, that did not allow me to see the goodness, the joy, the gratitude, the peace, the love that I am avoiding, that I'm not seeing because I'm so focused on the pain. And my nervous system is so focused on the pain. And that is required in order to calm the nervous system, to break the illusion. Breaking the illusion and finding pleasure, the really knowing that life can be good. The life can be easy. It does not require to work hard. There is peace. There is light at the end of the tunnel. And that is a choice that we have to make. And this is what I take my client through. I call it divine breakthrough process, that my clients go through and they become aware of the things they were never aware that was happening. And it was happening in their life, but they were completely unaware of it. They completely blocked it and they could not see it. But when they go through divine breakthrough process, they are able to release the shame, the guilt, the pain, and they start feeling that blissful energy within themselves. When they experience that, that is a complete liberation. It is so powerful. And that's required in order to really open yourself for wealth and abundance. So as a smaller practice, because divine breakthrough process is a very deep process and very advanced healing process that I take my client through. But as a smaller practice, I want you to start really focusing on the good things that are happening that you may have not paid attention to. So start finding what are the good things that are happening in my life. Doesn't matter matter whatever the circumstances are right now, start focusing, bringing your mind into places where good things are happening. And good things could be breathing, good things could be being alive, good things could be having a healthier body, good things could be being able to pay your bills. And these are the things when you start recognizing, really opening yourself to start opening your mind to recognize those things, your nervous system start recognizing. You would not believe, for years I kept myself in suffering, even though nothing bad was happening. Nothing bad was happening. All the past thing that happened, they already happened. And I moved into this place where, everything was peaceful and ease. But my mind was still stuck in that memory of suffering, that memory of pain. I did not allow myself to experience gratitude or experience peace or love or joy because I was so attached to the pain. And when one day I had a light bulb moment and realized, oh my God, actually nothing bad is happening. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. I am safe. I am happy. I am in peaceful environment and everything is fine. And that was such a moment of realization for me that how I kept myself attached to suffering unconsciously. So that's one of the things you have to start really allowing that actually everything is fine. You are safe. You are at peace. You are loved. You are actually worthy. You are actually abundant. If you start counting your blessings and start operating in gratitude, you will see how blessed you are. The third fundamental concept that you need to know is higher self exposure. And that is something that I call that most people, when they are healing, they think they need to heal fully in order to give themselves permission to launch that business, to write that book, to speak on stage, to allow themselves to live a better life. They think they need to be perfect, they need to be healed fully. But that is not true. That is not the way to heal your nervous system. The way you heal your nervous system is by higher self-exposure. What that is, you start healing by exposing yourself in a way that your higher self operate. And I did that in order to tap into my wealthier self is by me exposing myself little by little. Little by little. It doesn't have to be a huge thing. Little by little, opening yourself to how you see yourself as your grandest version, as your higher version, as your best version. How do they show up in the world? Do they have a business? Do they speak on stage? Do they write books? Do they have $1 million? Do they make six figures in their job? And even in my job, I remember when I used to work for investment banks, I moved jobs quite frequently because I wanted to keep promoting myself and get higher pay. And every job interview that I had, I always succeeded. Every single job interview. I've never failed in my job interviews because I exposed myself for higher position in the identity of my higher self. That I already got this. I already have this job. These people are interviewing me and I'm always overqualified. So I go with that energy. So if I was looking for a 100K job, I operated like I'm making 500K. And that shifted my energy. That gave me that confidence, that conviction in speaking to those directors and managers. Even when it comes to speaking, now that I run my sole business, I would go for speaking opportunities to expose myself as my higher self. So I used to go for events where I would speak. And that exposed me, right? Because healing isn't about just healing in the closed room. Healing happens when you start exposing yourself to the environment that you deeply desire. Like I said, going to 5-star hotels. Then I started going to events where I was speaking on stage, introducing my work and sharing what I need to share, the work that I do. Those glimpses allowed my nervous system to learn it is safe to speak because nervous system needs to feel safe. That's the fundamental need of your nervous system. It needs to feel safe in order to open. It will not open just by healing in a closed room. It will open when you give a glimpse of these ideas to it. Look, I was spoken on stage. Nothing happened. Everything is fine. People loved me. People really liked me. People said that my energy is so calm and so high. And that is a glimpse for my nervous system to feel safe. And that's what I call higher self exposure. How can you expose yourself? Whether launching that business, whether writing that offer, whether writing that book, whether introducing your work to people, whether speaking to investors, that is a higher self exposure. That if you see yourself making millions, how can you expose yourself in those environments? Whether going to networking events where all the wealthy people sit and have conversation, how can you open yourself there? How can you move there? And when you allow yourself to move and expose yourself to those environments, to those ideas, that's when your nervous system learned it is safe. It is safe to be there. And that's why I don't really just teach healing. I actually show people how to activate and embody that version of them that is operating in that wealth and abundance. And that's how my clients achieve success and they achieve what they deeply desire because they embody that version of them by moving into those identity. And it sounds scary until you do it. When you start doing it, it feels safe because nothing bad happens. It's just people. And we just exposing ourselves to people. In the mind, everything feels dangerous. But in the body, when we introduce the body into a new environment where there's people like us exist, people who want to cherish you, want to love you, want to celebrate you, that's when you start really seeing the deep changes and shift in your life. And if you want to go deeper in order to experience a breakthrough on emotional level, on financial level, where you actually shift into your wealth identity and that walk in that wealthy era, then you can click the link below to apply for my mentoring and really make 2026 your year where you are not just healing, but actually embodying the version of you that you always dreamed of. And if that's you, then you can click the link below to apply for my mentoring. Other than that, like this video if you like this video and subscribe to my channel, and may the light in me reaches the light in you.